Right. So this is the relation between the relation between the voltage variables and current variables by using the hybrid parameters. Now I want to find the Z11 in terms of the hybrid parameters. So based on the definition of the Z11 equal to V1 by I1 at I2 equal to 0. So at I2 equal to 0, so keep I2 equal to 0 in this equation. Yeah, keep I2 equal to 0 here. So once if you keep I2 equal to 0 here, then it here 0 equal to H21 into I1 plus H22 into V2. And from here, see, actually I want the V1 by I1. And in the first equation, we have the V1 and I1, but we have the V2. If you are able to find the V2 in terms of the I1, then we can easily calculate the V1 by I1 ratio. So first thing is we need to find the V2 value in terms of the I1. Find the V2 in terms of the I1. So how we get that one? By using this equation. Find the V2 in terms of the I1. So from this equation, V2 equal to minus H21 into I1 divided by H22. Right? Now replace this V2 expression here. This V2 expression in the first equation here. Then we have V1 equal to H11 into I1 plus H12 into V2 equal to this expression. So now we have V2 equal to minus H21 into I1 divided by H22. Now from this equation, try to take I1 common. Try to take I1 common. If you take I1 outside, we have the H11 minus H12 into H21 divided by H22. So V1 equal to I1 into, so take the LCM, we have the H11 into H22 minus H12 into H21 divided by H22. I want to calculate Z11, so that's equal to V1 by I1. So V1 here, I1 here. So V1 by I1 equal to Z11, that's equal to H11 into H22 minus H21 into H21 divided by H22. So this is the expression for the Z11 in terms of the hybrid parameters. The same thing is available here in the slide. Here. Right? Next I want to find Z21. So what is the definition of the Z21? Z21 equal to V2 by I1 at I2 equal to 0. This is the definition. We discussed already when we discussed about the Z parameters. So Z21 equal to V2 by I1 at I2 equal to 0. So now see, from this equation, we get V2 equal to minus H21 into I1 divided by H22. This equation we got. And I want the ratio between the V2 and I1. So take this I1 toward the left hand side. So we have the V2 by I1. That's equal to what we have? Minus H21 divided by H22. So this one, minus H21 divided by H22, that's equal to Z21. So that's the relation between Z11 and Z21 in terms of the hybrid parameters. Now we will move to the derivation for the remaining two parameters H12 and H22. So for that, see here. So this is the H parameter equation as we used in the previous case. Now I want to calculate Z22. So based on the definition, Z22 equal to V2 by I2 at I1 equal to 0. So keep I1 equal to 0 in this equation and in this equation. Here and also here, keep I1 equal to 0. Then we have V1 equal to H12 into V2 and I2 equal to H22 into V2. Right? So Z22 equal to V2 by I2. Right? Z22 equal to V2 by I2. Right? So I2 equal to H22 into V2. So take this I2 toward the right hand side, move the H22 toward the left hand side. Then we have H22 equal to V2 by I2, that's equal to 1 by H22. So this is then how Z22 value in terms of the hybrid parameter H22. So that's equal to Z22 equal to 1 by H22. This one. Right? Next. So later I want to find the Z12. So based on the definition, Z12 equal to V1 by I2 at I1 equal to 0. Right? So we are already keeping the I1 equal to 0 here and also here. Then we have these two equations. Now what we want? We want Z1 to equal to V1 by I2, right? V1 by I2, good. V1 by I2, right? So V1 divided by I2. What we have? V2 and V2 will be cancelled. So we have the H12 by H22, this one. So we have H12 divided by H22. So Z1 equal to H12 divided by H22, right? So this is the how we find the Z parameters in terms of the hybrid parameters. So if for any two-port network, if we know the hybrid parameters, then we can easily calculate the Z parameters by using these four equations. In academic examinations, you may get the derivation or problem, but in the competitive examinations, only problems will come. No one will ask derivation. So try to remember these four equations if it is required for the competitive examinations, right? Good. So now, so see, meanwhile, I will give one minute time for you. Try to note down this problem, and no need to solve right now. If we have a time, you can do later. Otherwise, you can do it as a homework. So here I'm giving the hybrid parameters, H11 values, H12, H21 and H22. You need to calculate the Z parameters. So by using these four equations, you can calculate the Z parameters by using the H11, H12, H21 and H22. Please note down these four equation values. H11, H12, H21 and H22, and later you can calculate the Z parameters. Not now, you can calculate later. Meanwhile, just note down the equations. You note down the problem. H11 equal to 1 by 0.001, H12 equal to 0.003, H21 equal to minus 1 by 0.01, and H22 equal to 50 by 10 power minus 6 mhos. Right? Okay. Next. Now, next we will discuss about Now we will discuss Y parameter in terms of the Z parameters. Now we will discuss Y parameters in terms of the Z parameters. How we represent the Y parameters in terms of the Z parameters. Just a minute. Online classes. Yeah. Sir, everyone able to see this slide? Y in Z. Amma, కనిపిస్తుందా Y in Z slide కనిపిస్తుందా ఇప్పుడు? Are you able to see this slide Y in Z slide?
No, sir.
No?
No, sir. Y in Z. No, sir.
No. Now please respond. Two-port network parameter slide. Are you able to see this one? Two-port network parameter slide. Yes. Are you able to see? Okay. Hope. Hope that you are able to see the screen. Is it okay, are you able to see this one? In Z, right?
Yes.
Right. So now we will start about from now onwards we are able to derive the relation between y parameters in terms of the remaining parameters, like y parameters in terms of the Z parameters, in terms of the ABCD parameters, also in terms of the hybrid parameters. So same procedure. So I will explain for the y parameters also, but my suggestion is you have to do for the remaining two. That means ABCD parameters in terms of the Z, Y, and H parameters, and H parameter in terms of the Z, Y, and ABCD parameters. But I will do for the Y parameters now. So now we are going to discuss about what is the relation between the Y parameters in terms of the Z parameters. Previously we discussed the Z parameters in terms of the Y parameters. Now we are going to discuss about the Y parameters in terms of the Z parameters. Admittance parameters in terms of the impedance parameters. So these relations can be helpful for you. If you know the Z parameters of any two-port network, this can be helpful for you to find the Y parameters of the same two-port network. Right? Now we will do the derivation. So similar to the previous case, previously what we follow, the same procedure now also. Yeah. Okay. So now I want to represent Y parameters in terms of the Z parameter. So what is the first step, Amma, for derivation? What is the first step? Because I want to represent the Y parameters in terms of the Z parameters. So write the Z parameter equations. So the Z parameter equation is V1 equal to Z11 into I1 plus Z12
Z12 into I2.
And similarly V2 equal to Z21
Z21 into I1.
I1 plus Z22 multiplied with I2, right? So these are the Z parameter equations. Okay. Now I want to find the Y11 first. So now write the definition of the Y11. So what is the relation? Y11 can be defined as Y11
I1 by V1.
Good. I1 by
I1 by V1.
At
I2 equals to
no, Y parameter at Y11 equal to I1 by V1 at Y parameter
V2 is equals to
V2 equal to 0. See, Y parameter also called as
V2.
parameter or short circuit parameter. Short circuit parameter means voltage is 0. So V2 equal to 0. Right. Okay. Now keep V2 equal to 0 in this equation. Keep V2 equal to 0 in this equation. Now that equation will become 0 equal to Z21 into I1 plus Z22 multiplied with I2. Right? Actually, what I want to know, Y11 equal to I1 by V1, right? So here I have the V1 and here I have the I1, but here I have the I2. If I'm able to find the I2 in terms of I1, then we can easily find the I1 by V1 ratio from the first equation. So what we have to do is from this equation, find the I2 in terms of the I1. So I2 equal to minus Z21, I2 equal to minus Z21 multiplied by I1 divided by Z22. Now replace this I2 here. Replace this I2 here. Okay. Then what we have done, that equation will become V1 equal to Z11 into I1 plus Z12 multiplied by I2 value is this one. This is the I2. So copy that one here. Okay, I2 value this one. So that I2 value I pasted here. That I2 value I pasted here. This I2 and this is the I2. I pasted value here. Now this will be like this. Now take I1 common. So we have V1 equal to, if we take I1 common, then what you have? Z11 plus no. This is the plus here and inside is the minus here. So we can write this one as minus Z12 multiplied with Z21 divided by Z22, right? So after taking the Z22 LCM, so we have V1 equal to I1 multiplied by, if you take Z22 LCM, then we have Z11 into Z22 minus Z21 multiplied with Z12 divided by Z22, right? So from the definition of the Y11, so Y11 equal to I1 by V1. So I1 by V1. Now it will be here V1 and here I1. So take V1 this side. Then we have I1 by V1. So I1 by V1 will become Z22 divided by Z11 multiplied with Z22 minus Z12 multiplied with Z21. Right? I hope everyone comfortable with this derivation. So Y11 equal to Z22 divided by Z11 into Z22, Z11 into Z22 minus Z12 into Z21. So this is how we can find the Y11 in terms of the Z parameters. Similarly, I want to find Y21. I want to find Y21. So what are the definition of the Y21? Y21 that's equal to Y21
I2 by V1.
ఏమో గుర్తుందా? I2 divided by
I2 by V1.
V1 at
At
V2 equal to 0. So at V2 equal to 0 means you can use this equation directly, right? At V2 equal to 0, we can use this equation directly. So right. So I want the I2 by V1, right? I2 by V1. So from this first equation, V1 is there, I1 is there, I2 is there, but I want the ratio between I2 and V1. Then what we have to do? If we are able to find the I1 expression in terms of I2, then we can easily find the ratio between I2 and V1, right? So for that, from this equation, find the I1 in terms of I2. So what happened? I1 that's equal to ఏమొస్తుందమ్మా? minus Z22 multiplied with I2 divided by Z22 multiplied with I2 divided by Z21, right? Now replace this I1 expression here. Okay, see, we are getting this equation. We are getting this equation from here and this equation from here by replacing the V2 equal to 0, right? Now replace this I1 here. Then what happened? The first equation will becomes V1 equal to Z11 into I1. So what is the value of I1? I1 equal to this I1. Copy here and paste here. I1, that is the I1. Okay, plus Z12 multiplied with I2. Z12 multiplied with I2. Right? Now from the above equation, take I2 common. From the above equation, take I2 common. If you take, from the above equation, take I2 common. Then what we have? If you take I2 common from here, we have minus Z11 into Z22 divided by Z21 plus Z12, right? So this is further simplified as V1 equal to I2 multiplied with, so take the LCM. If you take the LCM, what you have? This is the Z. If you take the LCM, what you have? Minus Z11 multiplied with Z22 plus Z12 multiplied with Z21, right? Divided by Z21. Just I'm taking the LCM. Okay, Nama? So now, as per the definition of the Y21 equal to I2 by V1. I2 here, V1 here. So move this V1 toward this side and this one toward the left hand side. Then we have Y21 equal to I2 by V1. I2 by V1. That's equal to Z21 divided by Z21 divided by minus Z11 into Z22 plus Z12 into Z21. Okay, Nama? And now in this equation, on the numerator side and denominator side, try to multiply with minus sign. Minus here, and this will become plus, and this will become minus. See, so y21 equal to minus Z21 divided by Z11 into Z22 minus Z12 into Z21. So, but anyhow, just try to verify once again. I think somewhere I had mistake, I thought. Because in this equation, it's showing that y21 equal to Z21 divided by Z11 into Z22 minus Z12 into Z21. But I am getting here y21 equal to minus Z21 by Z11 into Z22 minus Z12 into Z21. Anyone identified any mistake from my side in the derivation part?
Sir,
Ah,
Sir,
sir,
y21 is
right,
equals to
right only,
by-
sir. We also got same the answers.
same answer, Amma. So there may be a problem in the slide, na?
No, sir. y21
No,
is
sir,
equals
Z-
to I2 by V1 కదా సార్ I2 by V1 వాల్యూ సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేస్తే మైనస్ Z11 Z22 ప్లస్ Z12 Z21 by Z21 వస్తుంది సార్ 1 by మైనస్ Z11 Z22 ప్లస్ Z12 Z21 by Z21 వస్తుంది సార్ I2 by V1 కదా సార్ I2 by
ఇక్కడమ్మా,
V1 వాల్యూ సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేస్తే
ఇదా?
y2 క్యాన్సిల్ yes sir y21 is equals to I2 by V1
Right.
I2 by
ఇదే ఇక్కడ ప్రాబ్లం ఉందా?
yes sir I2 by V1 వాల్యూ సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేయాలి సార్ మీరు డైరెక్ట్ V1 వాల్యూ సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేసి చేశారు I2 by V1
I2 by V1.
V1
Hmm.
I2 by V1 వాల్యూ సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేయాలి కదా సార్
No, see, actually, if you want to find the y21, so y21 equal to I2 by V1 at V2 equal to 0, right? So V2 equal to 0 means we are keeping the V2 equal to 0 here. Then we have the 0 equal to
Yes, sir.
Z21 into I1 plus Z22 into I2. Okay. Actually, if you want to calculate the y21, we require the I2 by V1. So I2 by V1. That means I want to find the I1 in terms of the I2.
I2
Right? I1 in terms of the I2.
I2
V2 0. If you take V2 0, then we have the Z21 into I1 plus Z22 into I2. And I want the I1 in terms of I2, that's equal to minus Z22 into I2 divided by Z21. Is it okay, Nama, this equation?
సార్ మీరు డైరెక్ట్ V1 వాల్యూ వేస్ చేశారు సార్ I2 కింద చూడండి సార్ కింది స్టెప్ y21 is equals to yes sir
In this step, V1 equal to Z11 into I1, that's equal to minus Z22 I2 by Z21 plus Z12 into I2. And I'm taking the I2 common. Then I have the minus Z11 into Z2 divided by Z21 plus Z12.
Sir, you did correct, sir.
Emma?
మీరు కరెక్ట్ చేశారు సార్ మాకు కూడా అదే వచ్చింది
నాకు కూడా అదే వచ్చింది
అవును సార్ మాకు కూడా సేమ్ ఆన్సర్ వచ్చింది
So derivation okay, Nama?
ఓకే సార్ ఇట్స్ కరెక్ట్ సార్
Okay, if derivation is okay, maybe I made some typographical mistake in the slide by printing. Okay, I will check textbook. Y parameters in terms of the right. It's a just typographical mistake.
మైనస్
Just a typographical mistake. Yes. So you can keep minus sign here. Okay, we need to keep the minus sign here. Minus Z21 by Z11 into Z22 minus Z12 into Z21. Okay, so only there is a printing mistake in the slide. So the derivation, complete derivation is right. not a issue. Only here I require the minus sign. I forget to keep the minus sign in the slide. So I will modify the slide later. So but right now just remember it's the minus Z21 by Z11 to Z22 by something. Right. So now we are able to find the Y11 and we are able to find the Y21 in terms of the Z parameters. Now we move to the derivation for the remaining two elements Y12 and Y22. Okay. So because we are able to go
Yes,
with
sir.
Amma. So
Yes,
Karthik,
sir.
these two are recorded for us. Yeah. So now I want to find Y22 now. I want to find the Y22 in terms of the, I want to find Y22 in terms of Z parameters. So what is the, as per the definition, Y22 equal to I2 divided by V2,
I2 by V2
V1 equal
at
to
V1 equals to 0.
V1 equal to 0. So
0.
keep V1 equal to 0 in the first equation. Now that will be 0 equal to Z11 multiplied with I1 plus Z12 multiplied with I2. Okay, right? Next, what you want actually? I want the I2 by V2, right? In the second equation, I have the V2 and I have the I1. I have the I2. If I want the I2 by V2 ratio, so I have to convert I1 in terms of the I2, right? So that will,
I1 in terms of
so now I1 equal to minus
minus Z12 by Z11.
I2 divided by Z1. Okay. Now replace this value in the second equation here. Now what happened? V2 equal to Z21 multiplied by Z21 multiplied by I1. So I1 value is equal to this thing, right? Plus Z22 into I2. This is from this equation. In the second equation, I'm trying to replace the I1 value by using this one. Now after replacing I1 value with this one here, then I get this expression. And in this equation, take the I2 common. Right? It's I2.
Last lo I2. Okay.
Now from this equation, take I2 common. So V2 equal to, if you take I2 common, then we have, what is the expression we have? If you take I2 common, then here we have the
minus Z12
Z21 multiplied with Z12 divided by Z11 plus
Z11,
right? So
Z12,
V2 equal to I2 multiplied with, take LCM, then we have minus Z21 multiplied with Z12 plus Z11 multiplied with Z22 divided by
Z11,
right?
Z11.
So Y22 equal to I2 by V2 kadamma. So Y22 equal to I2 by V2 to move this V2 towards this side and this complete term over the left hand side. Then we have the
Z11 by
divided by Z11 divided by, so what you have?
Z11 into Z22 minus
Z21 into Z12. So Y22 equal to Z11 divided by Z11 into Z22 minus Z21 into Z12, right? So this is how we find the Y22 in terms of the Z parameter. And similarly, we can find the Y12 in terms of the Z parameters. So from the definition, Y12 can be defined as I1 divided by V2 at
V2
V1 equal to,
V1 equals to,
right? Y12 equal to I1 divided by V2 at V1 equal to 0. Right. At V1 equal to 0 kadamma. So at V1 equal to 0, to keep the V1 equal to 0 here, then this equation becomes like this. This equation becomes like this. Right? Oh, okay. And we have the second equation. So I want the I1 by V2. Here I have the V2. Here I have the I1, but I have the I2 here. So if I am able to find the I2 in terms of the I1, then it's better to find the I1 by V2 easily. So how we get the I2 in terms of the I1 from this? So I2 equal to
First equation.
minus
Z11
Z11 into I1 by
to I1 divided by Z1. Right? Now replace this I2. Now replace this I2 in this equation. Right? So now that V2 will become V2 equal to Z21 into I1 plus Z22 into I2 value ఎంతమ్మా ఇక్కడ ఉంది అక్కడ మనకు I2 value. So,
Minus Z11 by Z12 into I1.
that's it. Okay. Now from this equation, take I1 common. Take I1 common. If you take I1 common, then we have what ఇక్కడ ఏముందమ్మా Z21 ఉంటుంది plus no, it's a plus and here it is a minus. So this will becomes minus. And we have Z11 into
Z11 into Z22.
Z1. Right? Now take the LCM. So we have I1 into, if you take LCM, then we have the Z21 into Z12 minus Z11 multiplied with Z22 divided by Z12, right? Right. So this is the V2 equal to I1 into something. But for calculating the Y12, I have to find the I1 by V2. So move this V2 toward this side and this complete term toward the left hand side. Then we can define Y12 equal to I1 divided by V2. That's equal to I1 divided by V2. That's equal to Z12 divided
12 by
Z12 divided
minus Z11
by we will do Z21 with
minus Z1.
12 minus minus Z11 multiplied with Z22, right?
Z2.
Now in the numerator denominator multiplied with minus sign. So minus here, and this will become minus here, and this minus will become plus, right?
Plus.
So we have Y12 equal to I1 by V2, that's equal to minus Z12 divided by Z11 into Z22 minus Z11 into Z22 minus Z21 into Z22. So like this here. So Y12 equal to minus Z12 divided by Z11 into Z22 minus Z12 into Z21. Okay. So this is how we can derive the expression for Y parameters in terms of the Z parameters. So try to understand the derivation for the academic examination point of view. Try to remember the equations for the competitive examination point of view. Right? So this is how we find the Y parameters in terms of the Z parameters. Okay. And in the tomorrow's class, already only 3 more minutes are left. So I don't want to continue. I don't want to move to Y parameters in terms of the ABCD parameters. So in tomorrow's class, we will discuss Y parameters in terms of the ABCD parameters and also Y parameters in terms of the hybrid parameters. So my suggestion is, after completing tomorrow's session, I don't want to go for the interrelation between the different type of the two-port network parameters, because the procedure is same. If you are understand these for last 3 days concepts, then you can easily derive ABCD parameters in terms of the Z parameters, ABCD parameters in terms of the Y parameters, ABCD parameters in terms of the H parameters. Similarly, you can find the H parameters in terms of the Z, H parameters in terms of Y, H parameters in terms of the ABCD. If you want, I will continue for the ABCD and H also, but I have a confidence that you can do on yourself. So if you want to continue for the ABCD and H also, I will continue. Otherwise, I will move to the other topic in the two-port network parameters. So let me tell your decision on tomorrow's class. Okay. So meanwhile, try to note down. So these are Y parameters in terms of the Z parameters. Right. Okay, I have only 1 more minute. I want to close the session for today. Tomorrow we will go with this Y parameters in terms of the ABCD parameters, and also Y parameters in terms of the H parameters. Once these two, I will complete tomorrow session, and your decision please let me know on tomorrow whether you have to move for the ABCD parameters in terms of the remaining and move with the H parameters in terms of the remaining by myself, or you have to do as a homework by yourself. Okay. If you want to do myself, I will take that also. So for each ABCD, I require 2 classes, and for each parameter, I require 2 classes. 4 more classes are required to complete all. Okay.